with a visit to Las Vegas, home of the Ms. Senior America pageant. Each year, women from around the United States gather there to be judged on their appearance, poise, talent, philosophy of life, and more. Age does nothing to ease the jitters and suspense as they wait for the next Ms. Senior America's coronation. So let's find out why they compete and why the event has become such a beloved tradition.
Some women see their golden years as a time to slow down and take stock of a lifetime of accomplishments. Others still want to go for the tiara. These women are feeling confident, beautiful, and energized, and the competition they're in encourages them to put that attitude on display. It's the Ms. Senior America pageant, held each year in Las Vegas by Senior America Incorporated. For Dr. Al Mott, founder of Senior America Incorporated and creator of the pageant, this event is a celebration of each contestant's life.
This is the rite of passage, being over 60 years of age to be in the pageant, 4 categories, allow them into it, and then from then it's been metamorphosis. The caterpillar who went through the cocoon experience that became the butterfly. And our women have all experienced the struggle of being told they can't do something, you're a second-class citizen, and the pageant has allowed them to know they can do it.
The delegates come here from throughout the country, representing 33 states. To narrow the field, the judging panel focuses on 4 categories of competition: talent, evening gown, philosophy of life, and a 5-minute private interview with each contestant.
This is going to be an extremely difficult process to select the winner. The judges and I have on an informal basis talked in general about how talented and experienced and just passionate these women are about life and about continuing to give back to society and continuing to be great impacts in our world.
The delegates are here to win, but as they compete, they form close personal bonds that they will cherish forever.
I've met women all over the country who I've remained in touch with and become actually quite close with. Women that I never would have had the opportunity to meet otherwise. I said, once you're past your 30s and 40s and your children are out of school and you don't go to PTA meetings, it's very hard to meet women of your age with whom you have something in common. And these women in the pageant, almost without exception, you find you do have a lot in common with.
For Ms. Senior America 1998, Sonia Middlestead, the pageant is the culmination of months of work. Sonia, along with her husband Ed, supervises every aspect of the event, including the choreography, direction, and scripting of each daily show.
Senior America is my life. I have got my husband involved, and he's also the website director for Senior America Incorporated. We got a group of ladies that they are amazing. I call them my girls. And from the time that they are chosen and I got my list in my hand before we come to Las Vegas, I make sure I call everybody.
Patricia Kuhn, Ms. Senior Pennsylvania 2006, is known by all the pageant delegates as Peppermint Patty. Her zest for life inspires everyone.
I'm from York, Pennsylvania, home of the York Peppermint Patties. So they know me here as Peppermint Patty. I'm 60 years old and very proud of it. It's a very liberating age to be. A year ago, I started for my pilot's license. And last week, I was able to solo and I received my signed pilot's license. I've only had one mishap in the airplane. I fell out of the cockpit on the day that I was to solo. It was a pretty bad fall. I was very bruised, but at least I landed correctly.
The pageant experience for Ann Thomas, Ms. Senior America DC, has helped to broaden her perspective on becoming a senior.
One of the things that I have always said is you're only as old as you feel. And I have always been in a profession where I was surrounded by young people. And I love working with young people. My teachers were 25 to 35, so all of that helped to keep me young. My 2 children, they helped to keep me young, and they let me know when I'm doing things that are a little bit too young.
On Saturday, the crowd gathers outside the theater at the Imperial Palace Hotel in Las Vegas for the naming of the finalists and the crowning of Miss Senior America 2006.
We have to congratulate these delegates who have made it thus far in the Ms. Senior America National Competition 2006.
Second time is the charm for Mary Richard, Nevada's Ms. Senior America delegate for 2006.
Last year, I was a runner-up for the state of Nevada, and I had so much fun. I went in it to have fun, not to win, to have fun with it.
Jeannie Rossi, Florida's 2006 delegate, never thought she'd be singing in Las Vegas, much less the finals of the Ms. Senior America pageant.
All this came about because the girls at work surprised me by entering me in Miss Senior Florida. I was not a very happy person. I had no intention of entering a contest. I had not sung in 45 years. That was the most difficult part. And they had enough confidence in me and said, "We think you can do it." And I said, "Well, if you think I can do it, maybe I can."
For Helen Halpin McCarney, Miss Senior America 2005, it was a time to reflect, reminisce, and perform just one more time.
I have a great passion for women empowering themselves. Nobody's going to give it to you. You have to empower yourself. That's my philosophy. Help other women reach their potential. Everything else is inconsequential. Here it is. I put on a rap hat and I said, "I'm a grandma, rapping like the kids do." Faith and family will see you through. Here's my list of things to do. Admit your fears, but follow through. Your health and happiness is up to you. When tears come, let them fall. Laughter will follow after all. Help other women reach their potential. Everything else is inconsequential. Win or lose, who can choose? Forget the quest. We're all the best, and I'm rapping. Yo, I'm rapping. Yo. That says it all.
The first runner-up is Ms. Nevada Mary.
Victory is sweet, but the winners of this competition are gracious, as are those whose time as Ms. Senior America is ending. Each year, the new Ms. Senior America is crowned by the previous year's winner, and the traditions of the Ms. Senior America pageant and the age-old elegance continues with the reign of the new queen.
Here to tell us more about the Ms. Senior America pageant is its founder, Dr. Al Mott. Dr. Mott also founded Senior America Incorporated, the nonprofit organization that puts on the pageant each year. Dr. Mott is a novelist as well as a vocalist and holds a doctorate in theology from the University of the State of New York. Dr. Mott, thank you so much for being here. And gosh, that was such a great segment that just aired. What made you start the Miss Senior America pageant to begin with?
Well, there were several catalysts that got me into it. One time I saw on the front page of my newspaper, this is 1972, a senior eating dog food out of a garbage can. And I said, "What's wrong with this picture?" And from then on, I decided to try and do something about it because I wanted to bring attention to the plight of the elderly. And there was two parts to it. First part was that the elderly did not think much of themselves, and the other part is the younger generation did not seem to have much respect for any of them. So the object was to find a way to be able to bring them to some type of consciousness raising. And so when I started the pageant, I said to them, "We're going to do a pageant." I was talking mostly to 80-year-olds, and they said, well, we went home and told our daughters and our family, and they said that I would have to be crazy, speaking about me. So I said, no, I'll tell you why. I said to them, here's what we're going to do. You go back and tell them that you have reached the age of elegance. That was the rite of passage that allowed them to cross over. Because in those days, in the dark ages, you're too old, you can't do anything. So this gave them the right to try. And that's all I asked them to do. And so the name now, the Age of Elegance, appears now in all of our material as that rite of passage, which allowed them to even take the chance because we were certainly living in the dark ages back then in '72 and during that time.
Now, do each of these different contestants actually compete in their own states and then they come to the pageant? Is that how it works? So there are organizations within each state that has a Senior America contest.
Right. Now this year we had 33 contestants, but we have 50 directors in all the states. Some of the states are not developed enough to send a representative, but they're ready. And I like to refer to this as we're going to take another move to another level very soon, where we will see all 50 states involved.
Do most of these contestants actually have pageant experience from their earlier days?
Well, we have had former people who've been in the Miss America pageant, Miss Universe pageant, yes. But because it was so new, and this is what I've started to observe, that the people who literally gave up their careers and decided to follow like a domestic life and have children now are equal in their talent to some of my judges who are sitting at the table who pursued professional careers.
Wow.
So now it's a great and wonderful opportunity.
Talking about the judges, tell me a little bit about their qualifications and who they are.
Well, Ann McCormick appeared with Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis and Juliet Bond, who happens to be the wife of Don Cherry, actually, Bond Cherry. She was understudy for Barbra Streisand on Broadway.
So they all have a lot of entertainment background and can really see real talent when they... What about this philosophy of life part of your contest?
Except I did want to tell you, we do have a gerontologist occasionally.
Oh, you do?
Yes, and in case you're interested.
I'm very expensive.
Yes, okay.
No, tell me about your... I would love to. I actually think it's a wonderful way for I think breaking down barriers so that young adults can see what it's like to be a mature adult and all the opportunities. Actually, hold on to that thought for a minute. Let me just take a break, and I'm going to be back with you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment with Dr. Al Mott to talk more about the Senior America contest.
Do you know, what year did the original Miss America pageant first begin? A. 1968, B. 1949, C. 1921. Do you know? What year did the original Miss America pageant first begin? Answer: C. 1921. The contest was first held in Atlantic City as a way to increase the summer tourist season.
We're back to continue our Daily Apple conversation with Dr. Al Mott, founder of the Miss Senior America pageant. I want to talk a little bit about the different divisions of the contest. What is the philosophy of life part?
Well, I'm really glad you asked because, as you could probably imagine, having a swimsuit competition at this age level would probably ruin this pageant.
I think it would ruin it at any age level, but go ahead.
Very good point, by very sentiments. But the idea was, I wanted to show in this category inner beauty. In life, we either get bitter or better. I wanted to get all the better people on earth, especially in America, together. I wanted them to show and to be able to use not only this inner beauty category, but to express qualities and reflect qualities of life, because that's the beauty of life, being able to give and to follow those types of very important subject matters as that.
But how does that work? Do you ask a question, or do they just say, this is my philosophy on life, and articulate it?
Well, we ask them not to say this is my philosophy, but we ask them to give their philosophy of life. Some of them quote from the Bible, some Albert Schweitzer, but they show the reverence of life, because in all reality, how did they get to where they are? And especially now, this is a reflection of a new generation of women. When you see these tapes and you see these women, you're seeing America producing a whole new mentality. This is a whole new mindset.
Are a lot of these women also heavily involved in their communities from a volunteering perspective and things like that?
Absolutely. They are the caregivers of America. They're so involved, and that was one of the problems, because the young people thought, they're going to take my job away, they're going to take this away. Now we find out that the seniors have more time to give and volunteer time, and we have a cameo club that goes out and performs at veterans hospitals, children's hospitals. They're going all over, and the latest wrinkle for Senior America, now they're pen pals to soldiers in Iraq.
Oh, the Cameo Club.
Right.
And that's made up of all of the contestants? Or?
Yes, all the contestants who've been in the pageant, and even Miss America called me and said that was one of the greatest ideas in the whole history of pageants, that there would be a club for all the women involved. But as you know, we're talking about apples and pears, because the women in the pageant, although I think they would like to win, they don't make it the issue that keeps them from being friends with one another. Because at this time of their life, they're bonding in a different way entirely.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Is there a lot of starving and catfighting behind the scenes?
Well, if there is, we have a den mother, a contestant's chaperone, who actually takes care of the women. I don't get to see them that often, but she tells me they're backstage helping them each other get dressed, helping with their makeup, they're talking to them and to each other. And I have not seen it per se, and I'm very happy to tell you that, to me, these are the better people.
Wisdom will do that, and experience and age. Obviously, you're very passionate about changing and breaking down barriers. How do you think that these pageants have changed the way that especially young adults look at seniors over the years?
Well, when you take someone and put them in the spotlight, like our winner, Suzanne Shelley, a concert pianist, where was she going to have the opportunity? Where is her showcase for coming out of Mississippi and then performing on a great stage like the Imperial Palace, Legends in Concert? Where are these people going to be able to keep performing? I wanted to keep them involved because I thought involvement was the key. Meaningful involvement, just doing nothing, I didn't think was going to add up to anything. But meaningful involvement, such as using their God-given talents to share with others. Now, it doesn't mean you have to dance and sing all the time. We've had jugglers, we've had roller skaters.
That Peppermint Patty was too much.
Right, Peppermint
Wow.
Patty. Yeah.
I can't believe she has that kind of energy. Since 1972, when it started, tell me a little bit about the evolution of the pageant and how it's changed over the last few decades.
Well, the most important thing was the fact that, again, the Age of Elegance got the people involved. Then by 1980, I was able to go national. We started in Atlantic City, and we were there for 12 years. And then I went to the Grand Ole Opry and then started taking it all over the country. And as I did, it began to draw a very different type of woman to the pageant, intelligent, bright, articulate. And she could be a spokesperson now for the issues that were involved with the elderly. And they all had like a platform, but they took it to another level. So much so that, well, we've been just featured in Life magazine, 3 pages in color, National Examiner, and now Marie Claire has released our story to 26 countries.
Fantastic, and I understand that everything is really about to open up in the next year. Tell me about some of your plans.
Well, Globe Trekker came to see us, and Globe Trekker is from pilot.co.uk, and they shot the pageant, which is going to air to 40 countries. And as a matter of this between Marie Claire and these other international groups that have sought us out, because I did ask Marie Claire, why are you putting us all over 26 countries?
And that's a very famous magazine for any audience, any of our audience that doesn't know what it is.
Right, and the girls are 13, 14, and 15, and here in the centerfold is 7 full pages in color, 14 pictures, and we're right in the middle of all this, and they're young people. Why did you do this? She said, we have to learn to respect the elderly. We have to know they are the treasures of the world. And it's upon their resources.
So I find it fascinating that you keep using the word elderly when we're talking about the 60-plus generation. Is that common terminology for you within the pageant?
Well, I would say this, that the term elderly does not exactly refer to the present situation. But I had a contestant, 99 years old, who won Ms. Pennsylvania. And she told me I started dancing when I was 80.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So with this longevity revolution going on, by the way, Abigail Trafford from the Washington Post wrote a big story on Senior America and said this is the dominant story of any generation, the way that there's people living longer, and what are they going to do with their time?
Sure. Tell me about what some of your winners or some of your contestants are doing now.
Well, the good news is the butterflies did not want to go back into the cocoon.
Great metaphor.
They literally took off and wrote their own books. They've done one-woman shows. They've appeared in just about every place you can imagine. We've had women who now are in Who's Who of American Women, and they just got this spark, and they had the confidence then, and the word confidence with fidelis, with faith. They stepped out on that faith, and they said, well, look, maybe it's true. Maybe we don't have to just limit ourselves. It's only our mentality. And that brought me back to the original reason why I started this, because there were so many myths about getting older. And I figured this must be the myth that's keeping them back.
Do many of your winners, for instance, I saw that the woman, she won in, what, 1999? She works within the pageant. Do you have a lot of support from former winners that come back to work with you?
As a matter of fact, our website is www.senioramerica.org. We practically get back all the national winners. They all come back to help out. And Sonia Mittelstadt, Miss Senior America 1998, is now our national director.
Oh, that's fabulous. So what are your plans? I mean, it really seems like you've broken through and made some changes. Do you have a Mr. Senior America coming?
Well, you know, I wish I could say so, but there's no precedent for men who are senior men to be in pageants. In time, maybe. But the real thing now is Ms. Senior International.
Gotcha.
And we are planning international pageants, and in fact, there's one in February in France and Canada, England. People all over the world have contacted us now, and they want pageants in their countries.
Well, Dr. Mott, thanks for being here. You're quite the pioneer, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you.